Hello students, in previous lecture we have studied amplitude modulation and frequency modulation in detail and problems on frequency modulation and amplitude modulation. Now today we are going to learn about comparison between amplitude modulation and frequency modulation and the concept of satellite communication in detail. Now let us see comparison of AM and FM. As in amplitude modulation, we know that there is a variation in amplitude of the carrier by keeping frequency and phase both are constant. Okay, students? While in frequency modulation, there is a variation in frequency of the carrier in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping amplitude and phase constants. If you observe carefully, in amplitude modulation there is a variation in amplitude of the carrier but frequency and phase constant, while in frequency modulation frequency of the carrier is varied but amplitude and phase both are constant. And these are the waveform describing how this amplitude modulation takes place and how this frequency modulation takes place. You can see the clear difference here, as here variation in amplitude of the carrier but phase and frequency both are constant. You can see this is the variation in the amplitude represented here with the red color, and this blue color gives the carrier, but this carrier having constant frequency and phase. But in frequency modulation, here is a constant amplitude. This is shown with the dotted line in black color. But there is a change in frequency. You can see here is a more frequency, here is a less frequency. Again, there is a repetition alternately, increasing, decreasing. As this frequency increase or decrease depends on the increase and decrease in the amplitude of the modulating signal. But here amplitude and phase, both these quantities are constant in frequency modulation. Okay students, so you can see this is a clear change in amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. It is given in the form of diagram. Okay, now third point, modulation index. This modulation index in amplitude modulation is given in terms of the ratio of amplitude of the modulating signal to the amplitude of the carrier signal. Okay students, and from this ratio we can determine that as the amplitude of the carrier goes on increasing, this modulation index goes on decreasing. As the amplitude of the carrier goes on decreasing, the modulation index goes on increasing, but it should be equal to 1. Then and then we'll get the perfect modulation. Okay students, while in frequency modulation, this modulation index is defined as the ratio of frequency deviation to the frequency of modulating signal, and it is represented here m is equals to delta f upon fm. Okay students, but here m is equal to em upon ec. This is third point. Okay, now point number 4, here in amplitude modulation we have derived the mathematical equation for this AM signal, and that signal consists of only two sidebands. They are lower sideband and upper sideband. Okay students, but in case of frequency modulation there are infinite number of sidebands present. Okay, now point number 5th, in amplitude modulation transmitted power is dependent on the modulation index, but in frequency modulation transmitted power remains constant. It is independent on modulation index. Okay students, this is a basic difference. Now bandwidth, this is 6 point in amplitude modulation. bandwidth is given by the formula. This is bandwidth is equal to twice FM, and it is independent on modulation index. Or this bandwidth is given by the difference of upper sideband and lower sideband frequencies, that is F USB minus F LSB. Okay students, while in frequency modulation this bandwidth is given by 2 into bracket delta M plus FM, means this bandwidth is the addition of maximum frequency deviation plus maximum frequency of the modulating signal and multiply by 2. Okay students, so the bandwidth depends on the modulation index, and as this bandwidth is more, therefore this frequency modulation is good for audio signals or audio transmission. In case of amplitude modulation, this bandwidth is lesser, therefore it is good for video transmission. Okay students, and this bandwidth is independent on modulation index in case of amplitude modulation. Okay, in case of amplitude modulation this bandwidth is independent on modulation index, but in case of frequency modulation this bandwidth depends on modulation index. Now 7 point, in amplitude modulation, AM receivers are not immune to noise, while in frequency modulation FM receivers are immune to noise. Then in amplitude modulation, this point number 8 describes that amplitude modulation transmission and reception equipment are less complex, as this amplitude modulated signal consists of only 2 sidebands. Okay students, therefore this amplitude modulation transmission and reception equipment are less complex, while this frequency transmission and reception equipment are more complex as compared to the amplitude modulation. In this way you can describe different point for comparison of amplitude modulation with frequency modulation. Okay students, now let us see satellite communication. Students, all of you know that a communication satellite being used with very fast rate for broadcasting different TV channels. Then global positioning system means GPS is available. By using that GPS, it is the most powerful and useful application of satellite to find the exact position of receiver on the earth very accurately. Then we get the meteorological information like flood, formation of cyclones, cloud formation, etc. These are the different applications of satellite communication. So due to this, satellite communication is more popular nowadays, and we have to see this satellite communication in detail. As you know that in our solar system, the sun is the center of orbit of Mercury, Earth, etc. in the system. These are the natural satellites revolving around the sun and themselves. Now another example of natural satellite is the moon. It is a natural satellite of the earth. Okay students, so the moon is a natural satellite of the earth, but in 1957 the first artificial satellite was launched by USSR into the space around the earth. And all of you know that as many countries launches the satellite for various important applications, and the well known is the first Indian satellite Aryabhatta started revolving in orbit around the earth on 19 April 1975. Okay students, this satellite has been sent into space for various useful applications like the Indian satellite INSAT-1B. It is mainly used for telecommunication application like telephone, television signals, for meteorological information like photographs of Earth, for giving information about the floods, cyclones, rain, etc. and also for astronomical observation. So, today we'll discuss different terminologies used in the satellite communication along with basic idea of satellite or orbital motion. Okay, students? And electronic system and subsystem. Before that, let us see what is ionosphere and how this communication takes place. When radio waves are used for telecommunication purpose, then it becomes possible to transmit radio frequencies around the earth with the help of ionosphere. Okay, student? So this is an ionosphere, and ionosphere is a layer of ionized air present in the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. As shown in this diagram, it is acting as a reflecting mirror. The signal can be transmitted on the surface of the Earth anywhere by this process. In this process, the transmitted signal propagate. When we transmit the signal, that signal propagate by making multiple reflections. It get reflected from ionosphere. Means suppose when the signal get transmitted from A, then there are maximum reflection takes place in this ionosphere, and then this signal reflected towards the earth again. Okay, student? So this type of communication is known as ground wave communication. But this ground wave communication is suitable for medium wave, that is 2 MHz, like AM radio signal transmission. It is not suitable for very high frequency and microwave signals above 100 MHz. So, microwave signals like television, radar signals cannot reflect by this ionosphere. Okay, so only way to transmit these TV signals, to transmit the signal directly from tower to the receiver. But due to direct transmission of such a high frequency signal, they can propagate up to only limited area only in the line of sight area. It happens due to Earth's curvature. Okay, student? That's why TV towers are located on the top of the hills. As shown in the diagram, you can see this figure. If we have to transmit the signal from tower A to D, so the area can be increased by making multi-trans reception, where signals can be sent from tower A or place A to D by making transmission from tower A to tower B to tower C, and finally tower C to tower D. In this process, the cost and signal strength problems become main difficulties, because we have to install more towers and with antenna. And here tower B and C are called repeaters. Even if to transmit this TV signal from one city to another city located about 200 km, it becomes essential to place many repeaters if the area is having number of hills and mountains in between two cities. So to overcome these difficulties, one master repeater can be launched into space by making geostationary. It is a satellite which can be sent into the space so that it can cover maximum area of Earth's surface. And with the help of this diagram, we'll get the clear idea of satellite coverage. As you can see, this is a satellite and this is a Earth coverage area. So the more area is covered with the help of this satellite. Okay, students? So in this way, a communication satellite is an artificial satellite orbiting around the Earth in the same direction as the direction of the Earth movement, and with the same angular velocity to make it stationary. In other words, we can say that a satellite is an electronic communication system that orbits around the Earth, and it contains different types of communication electronic system. It is launched for long distance as well as microwave communication, and as it performs the functions of full duplex, and satellite communication increases the area of coverage, and it is useful for telecommunication, meteorological information, cellular phone, etc. Okay students, now it is clear that the TV signals are sent from the tower on the Earth of satellite in space. Okay students, the satellite amplifies these signals and retransmit them back to the Earth. In satellite communication, the signal communication is a full duplex. So, the Earth station and the satellite both contains transmitter and receiver. That's why it is called here full duplex system. So, in the telecommunication, meteorological information, cellular phone, this satellite communication is very useful. Okay students? Now we have to see geosynchronous satellite. As an artificial satellite is launched into an orbit around the Earth by applying different scientific laws like Kepler law and a mathematical analysis. It is not possible to launch it just by raising it in vertical direction from the Earth. It will fall back on the Earth due to Earth's gravity. So, to launch a satellite into an orbit, it must have some horizontal motion also. And practically, applying both vertical as well as horizontal motion, the combined effect of this motion results into a centripetal force, and the centripetal force is the result of inertia of satellite and Earth's gravitational pull. Okay students? So, the second important consideration while launching a satellite is its velocity. And if we observe carefully these two diagrams, we'll get the idea of satellite orbits. Okay students, means if its velocity is much greater than the required velocity called critical velocity, the satellite would go into the space. It would be escaped from Earth's gravitational force. This is known as escape velocity. And if its velocity is less than the critical velocity, if its velocity is less than the critical velocity, the satellite will move in a circular orbit around the Earth. And third consideration is that if its velocity is greater than the critical velocity but less than the escape velocity, it will move in an elliptical orbit around the Earth. In practice, the satellite is launched by multi-stage rocket, and initially it is launched in vertical direction up to certain higher height, and then at next stage it is launched in a forward or horizontal direction. Practically, the satellite is launched to set it into either circular orbit or elliptical orbit as shown in the diagram. And we'll compare these two diagrams with some different point. In circular orbit, the speed of revolution around the Earth is constant. As this is a circular orbit, you can see about the speed, it is constant. Now, in elliptical orbit, the speed is continuously changing. It is minimum when it is away from the Earth. It is minimum when it is away from the Earth. This is a satellite shown in this diagram for elliptical orbit. Okay students, when it is, the speed is continuously changing, it is minimum when it is away from the Earth. Okay students, now second point here, the satellite height from the Earth center is constant. Okay, the height of the satellite from the Earth center is constant in circular orbit, while in elliptical orbit its height varies. As you can see, the two part apogee and perigee. Now, third point here, used for Earth's observation and surveillance. Now here, it is used for variety of application like telecommunication. In circular orbit, since it is a circular, its distance from Earth is constant. Okay, students? And due to optical orbit, it has two extreme distance as perigee and apogee. This perigee distance is called as minimum distance, while this apogee distance is the maximum distance. Okay, students? But to use satellite communication, it must be launched in a way that the Earth station antenna must be able to receive signals continuously. In order to get a continuous communication, satellite can be launched over a long elliptical orbit so that the satellite is in view of the Earth for maximum area of orbit. In this solution, the satellite is available for longer period, but when it is at the side of perigee, it disappears. Okay, students? So, in this short period, the satellite is not available for communication. This problem can be solved by using another solution. A continuous communication can be achieved by launching more than one satellite with proper location so that each satellite is switched into service when others are invisible. This can be solution, but it is expensive and difficult method. So to get an accurate, precise solution for continuous communication without antenna tracking, the satellite can be launched at a distance 35,860 km around the equator in a circular orbit. The satellite at this distance will revolve around the Earth in synchronism with Earth's rotational velocity. The satellite and Earth's rotational motion will take exactly 24 hours to complete the rotation. This synchronous orbital motion will make the satellite fixed at stationary apparently from the Earth station. Okay, students? So this type of satellite communication widely used for a variety of applications. Since the satellite is apparently fixed and stationary, the antenna tracking is not required. Hence, it is known as geosynchronous satellite and orbit at distance of about 36,000 km and is known as geosynchronous orbit, but this is occupied by many satellites. Practically very small antenna tracking is required for geosynchronous satellite in order to get high gain signals. Okay, students? We can say that a satellite which orbits the Earth around the equator at a distance of 35,860 km is called geosynchronous or geostationary satellite. Student, this question is asked in MCQ. The distance is about 35,860 km. So remember these digits for MCQ. Okay. Now let us see how these satellites are used as a relay station with the help of diagram. Students, you can see this is a diagram of satellite as a relay, because if a transmitting station cannot communicate directly with one or more receiving station because of line of sight restriction, then a satellite can be used as a relay station. So in this diagram, this communication satellite is called as a repeater or relay station. So the transmitting station sends information to the satellite which retransmit it to the receiving station. The satellite in this application is also called as a repeater. Okay, student? Because as explained earlier, the main application of this satellite is to use as a repeater. In communication satellite, this satellite system uses this communication satellite as a relay. Okay, students? And the main transmitting station transmitting the frequency called as a 6 GHz, and this is uplink frequency. This frequency is received by this satellite, and this satellite amplifies it, and the satellite transmit the amplified information signal by retransmitting it on another carrier frequency called as a downlink frequency towards another earth station on the earth. Okay students, so in this application the satellite is a relay station where uplink frequency is 6 gigahertz is greater than this downlink frequency 4 gigahertz. Okay students, in other type of satellite system, the satellite may be used for getting meteorological information such as photographs of earth contain information of rainfall, floods, etc. So in this method, the same earth station transmit instruction towards the satellite on uplink, and the satellite receives it. After extracting the instruction, it performs the necessary operations and send feedback like photograph data towards the earth station on another downlink frequency. So in this way we can use this satellite as a repeater or as a relay station. Okay students, now let us see concept of transponder. Okay students, you can see the block diagram of transponder. So what is meant by transponder? The transponder is the main interface between uplink and downlink signal. Its word itself explains its function. Transponder word is made up of two words, transmitter and responder. In simple way, the transponder performs three main functions in its communication satellites. First, to receive uplink frequency 6 GHz and amplify. Second, to convert its frequency to downlink 4 GHz. And third, to transmit downlink again by amplifying it to switch level. So in this way, transponder is a repeater part of satellite. It can be defined that a transponder is an electronic circuit which is a combination of transmitter and receiver. And in this diagram you can see two types of antennas. This is a receiving antenna and this is transmitting antenna. This receiving antenna receives uplink frequency up to 6 GHz. Here is a LNA, low noise amplifier, and this is a HPA, high power amplifier. This middle block consists of two sub block, and this is nothing but frequency converter. Here first block is mixer and second block is local oscillator. This local oscillator generates 2 GHz frequency. Okay students, and finally this transmitting antenna transmits the downlink frequency 6 GHz. So in this diagram, the transponder receives uplink frequency 6 GHz with a bandwidth of 500 MHz. Since the received signal is weak in amplitude, an amplifier known as low noise amplifier or LNA amplifies it. Using a heterodyne action carries out frequency translation or conversion. What is meant by heterodyne? Heterodyne means mixing of frequency, and that function is performed by this frequency converter. This frequency converter converts incoming frequency, that is uplink frequency, and this mixing of local oscillator frequency, that is 2 GHz. By mixing, a mixer circuit is a mixing received frequency with this local oscillator frequency. Okay, because this is its own oscillator, that's why this name is given here, local oscillator, and it generates 2 GHz frequency. The output of mixer may contain many resulting frequencies, but only difference is coupled, that is 6 minus 2 4 GHz to the next stage. As shown in the figure, the mixer circuit converts uplink frequency 6 GHz into low downlink frequency up to 4 GHz. After converting a high frequency, that is 6 GHz, high power amplifier retransmit it as a downlink frequency. Further, it amplifies the signal. So, the necessity of frequency conversion is due to inability of transmission and reception on the same frequency. So, the satellite cannot transmit and receive the same frequency. If it uses the same frequency as uplink and downlink, the same frequency is received by the satellite itself and will produce interference. Students, this is most important topic from satellite communication. Question may be asked on this topic in the board exam. Okay, student? So prepare it properly. This is last topic, applications of satellite. As explained in earlier topics, the satellite is launched into the space for huge number of applications. Since it is capable of observing Earth's exterior and interior conditions, the satellite can be used for variety of purposes. First one, as a repeater or relay. The important application of satellite is communication by means of use of satellite as a repeater or relay station in the space. It supports very effectively long distance communication. Second, in communication, television and telephony, as a communication satellite being used with very fast rate of broadcasting different TV channels. So nowadays different type of channels available in the communication systems. For example, Star, Zee, or sports channels, then Discovery Channel, etc. All these are the different channels available in the communication system. So many users use their own satellite antenna to receive these TV programs. As you know that the most popular TV transmission through satellite for sport being played in the various countries, a cricket match live transmission being carried out by special sport channel or national transmission over many countries using satellite communications. Okay, students? And sat phone is the latest application of satellite communication in addition to conventional telephone like ISD calls. Nowadays, cell phones are widely used with the help of satellite communications. We can communicate over long distance with the help of satellite communications only. Okay, students? Then, monitoring Earth resources. Satellite can also be used for monitoring the positions of Earth invisible resources like land and oceans. Satellite can provide information about mineral resources, affected crop area, pollution sources on the Earth by using cameras, infrared sensors. Okay, students? Then navigation using GPS. The major role of satellite for the military as a navigation system known as GPS means Global Positioning System. The GPS is the most powerful and useful application of satellite to find the exact position of receiver on the Earth very accurately. Okay, students? So this is also most important application of satellite. Then observation in meteorological. The satellites are used to take the photographs of Earth and send back to the Earth station for variety of application like to observe wind direction, cyclones formation, cloud formation, flood condition, etc. So, satellites are also useful in meteorological observation. And intelligence and infrared sensors. Satellites collects information about enemies and nuclear tests, etc. In surveillance, in military satellites on board film cameras take photographs which are received on the Earth. Television cameras can take pictures and send them back to Earth as an electrical signal. And infrared sensor detect heat sources and small radars can profile Earth features. So intelligence satellite collect information about enemies. They allow monitoring for purpose of providing implementation with nuclear test ban and missile treaties, etc. Okay, students, in this way, these are the applications of satellite. and we have finished the concept of satellite today. Okay students, now this is assignment number 6 from chapter number 5, paper 1. Question first, explain the use of satellite as relay station. This question carries 3 marks. Question number 2, state 6 applications of satellite communication. This question carries 3 marks. Question number 3, explain the working of satellite transponder using a block diagram. This question carries 4 marks. Okay students, so send me answer sheet in PDF format within a time. Okay students, so in next lecture we'll see data communication. This is enough for today's lecture. We'll see in next lecture. Thank you.